see, I've been married now for about almost 2 years. Christmas is a lot of fun when you're married because not only do you have someone to do all the fun things together, you go Christmas shopping, you go out and all the fun Christmas lights, all of that. You also have somebody to wrap gifts for, make gifts for, buy gifts for, someone to celebrate with, all that. But it gets really exciting because then all of your in-laws and family members send you things to wrap. Send you things to wrap for your spouse. You're not allowed to look at this because then if she sees the video, you know. But you end up having to wrap a bunch of stuff. It's a lot of fun. And I actually really like wrapping things. So this is actually one of my favorite parts of Christmas time. And I think that might be because I grew up with like a lot of siblings. So I was just always wrapping a bunch of things. It's a lot of fun. So that's what I'm doing today. First gift of the year, not my best work. That's alright though. Get it out of the way. Always gonna be better on the next one. So, speaking of spouses, we're just having a conversation with my wife about how I feel like I finally reached a point with filmmaking where I'm making the things that I see in my head and they're actually feeling complete. They're feeling like, oh yeah, that's what I set out to make. I think a lot of the time when you're making films, that's the battle. It's not about, you know, telling the story, telling this thing, like making something coherent. It's about telling the story that's in your head, at least as a director and a creative person. Like from a technical aspect, there's so many thing that can go into a film. There's so many things that can go into a story, and they all add on each other. They all build up to this full thing, this full piece, this full art piece that you put out. I think for most of us, especially when you're getting started, that's the biggest struggle and kind of the biggest deterrent. I know for me, for years, I feel like I've been in this battle to actually make the thing that I see in my head. It's like I have this great idea, I start working on it, and then usually what happens is I get through the production phase of it, I shoot the thing, I get into the editing room, and it's bad. It's not what I hoped to capture. It's not, you know, maybe it's the lighting, maybe it's the colors, maybe it's production design. That's really tough because for most of us, that's the whole reason we're in this, is to do that, to tell stories. And so there's something about finally reaching a point where you feel like, yeah, that's what I meant to do. Like that's the thing I tried to create. That when you finally get there, it feels really good. And I'm not saying that obviously everything I shoot is exactly what I saw in my head and, you know, whatever. But I talked a couple weeks ago now about compounding and how it's like, you know, one of my favorite things out there. And I think about it a lot in terms of both money, but also like skills and projects and working on things and how things compound over time. And I think that's oh, it's so close. The scissors aren't quite sharp enough anymore. They don't do the slide. But with things like that Lord of the Rings short that I did the other day about The Hobbit, I'm starting to see that like the things that I set out to make are looking the way that they were supposed to. And that's a big deal for me because for so many years I have worked with that as my single ambition of making things look the way that I see them in my head. And that short in particular came out exactly as I saw it in my head. And that's not the first time that's happened, but it was nice that it was a passion project. It was something that I shot pretty quick. And like, are there things about it I wish I did better? For sure. You can go watch the video I posted yesterday about the cinematography. Like, there's some things that I wish, I had more time, more people, more crew, whatever. But the story itself is what I saw in my head. And the visuals are pretty close to everything that I saw in my head. And I think it comes back to that compounding thing. It comes back to putting things out consistently, making things consistently, making different types of things. I work on a lot of things in my day-to-day. And something about doing that every day, and a lot of those jobs are not interesting. A lot of them are not things I want to go around telling everybody I did. A lot of those things add up over time. They help you get to the point where you can realize what you saw in your head. And I think it's easy to kind of forget about that sometimes it takes wrapping presents for years to be really good at wrapping presents. Much like it takes years of editing things to get good at editing, or shooting things, lighting things, operating cameras, telling stories to get good at doing that. Got all of these prepped, little bows. We got the tags on there. Not too shabby. But yeah, overall, I just feel like if you keep at it, you keep making things. Eventually, you're able to make things that are cohesive and match your dream, your vision, your goals, what you see in your head. And while I'm not 100% there all the time, I'm not proud of every single piece of work that I make, I learn something new on almost everything that I make. Even these YouTube videos, I feel like every day it's flexing and pushing me to think about this type of storytelling. Where can I put a camera? What am I showing? What does each shot do for this story? Why is it helpful? And honestly, a lot of the time, I will set up a shot, start filming, and be like, this isn't good. This isn't helpful. This isn't pushing this story along. And sometimes I notice it quicker. Sometimes I don't even notice it until I'm editing, and I'm like, why the hell did I shoot that? Sometimes I cut it right then. And I just think that's things that come with time and experience. And even if you go to film school and you listen to, the Roger Deakins podcast, and you listen to books and read books and watch movies, like, yeah, you're going to learn a lot of things, but there is something to be said for making it like this every single day for years. I don't really know what this video is exactly, other than like an encouragement that like it gets better. Because I remember making YouTube videos with my friends 6 years ago, and that's how I got into all of this. And I don't know, seeing my films now and how far I've come from that, it encouraged me this week. It got me excited about what I'm doing and where I'm headed. And I think we should take more time to recognize those types of things because it's important and it's cool. This shot might be out of focus, so I'm not perfect, but I'm getting better even with this video. Peace.